gosh, it is such a pleasure and an honor. Thank you for having me on the show.
You have definitely been one of our more animated and exuberant interviewees.
Wow.
Tell me a little bit about how you put your persona into your creations.
I really love life, and I get such a inspiration from the people around me, and I love nothing more than just soaking up whatever is around me, and if I feed off of that,
right?
If that makes sense.
Well, you can tell because in your studio you have your music and it's loud right on the walls.
I do, and sometimes I feel like, I hope I'm not like a dictator because I want everybody around me to be having as much fun. But like I'm Mary Poppins. I bring gadgets and hats and parties, and I hope I don't force that on people, but I love that, and I want everybody to be having as much fun.
Well, in your painting, when you're creating the canvas, all of that plays into it, because I've seen you like start out a painting, and there's a lot of energy that goes into that. How do you feel about painters that can bring that energy from themselves through their work?
To me, it's totally spontaneous. I mean, it's sort of like I start each painting totally fresh. There's nothing in my brain beforehand, and no two are alike. And so I just start, and then I work on. You saw how I do. I just like crush up stuff and add filler and then add it to the canvas. And to me, it's a total, I guess it's coming from within. It's what I'm feeling. It's the music, it's the sunshine outside, it's, the dog dropping balls at my feet. It's whatever's going on, and it flows.
Right. Do you feel that being self-taught gives you an advantage and is a stepping stone to more creativity, or is it sometimes a stumbling block?
I think it's a stumbling block in terms of like a selling point.
Okay. That's valid. So you think that maybe academic criticism or critiques would find that like you haven't achieved a certain thing, so they don't give you as much respect?
I think certain people are looking for that, where has she shown, what museums or anything like that. And to me, it actually, so both. I think it gives me a freedom just to be kind of a kooky, wacky, have fun. I can experiment and do what I want, and I don't have to do.
You're not set by a bunch of rigid rules.
I'm not set by any rules,
right.
And I don't play by rules necessarily. And but yet it's a hindrance, I think, because sometimes you want the respect and.
But don't you think at the end of the day that your work speaks for itself, and it comes out to be what you want it to be?
100%. I mean, but that's how I feel about art. Art either speaks to you or it doesn't,
right.
And it doesn't matter to me if like I'm a huge collector, and it doesn't matter if it's so and so, but if I feel it and I love it and I see it and it's dynamite and I'm like, oh my goodness, it makes my heart sing. I want to buy it. It doesn't matter if that person is, who they are.
Right. Working in different mediums, clay, painting, what do you find more rewarding?
I think I would have to say that painting is more rewarding, only because it's more of a struggle. And if something comes too easy, the ceramics is so natural and fluid, and it's using my hands, and it just, I love the ceramics, and they are me. But the painting is a challenge, and when something is difficult, it almost has more value, and to me, and I could work on a painting forever, and it just, so much goes into it, and I don't think that people that look at it realize it because it's abstract,
right.
But I've put, blood, sweat, and tears into it,
Well, you put a lot of energy into your work, and
I do.
And because of that, what would you think of the two mediums that you work in would be more physically demanding on you? Is it the mental part of the painting, or is it the physical?
Mentally, it's painting 100%, without a doubt. That it's a struggle, but yet I still want to go back and do it again.
Right.
You know, it's like I can't stop myself. But physically, the ceramics they're heavy.
Right.
I mean, just the 50-pound bags of clay and loading the kiln and unloading the kiln, that's physically demanding. Yeah,
Your ceramics are currently totems, which I love.
Yeah.
And the really exuberant figures that you're doing, which I think are basically just your persona coming through the clay. I love those.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, that was the part that I saw that you're doing. It's the little women with their hands raised, but you're having a hard time letting those go, right?
Totally.
Tell me about that.
You know, the women are empowering, and if you look at them, they're strong. And most of them, like, are arms raised in triumph. They are very, they're fearless. And I think that's a part of my personality that I want to come out, because I think we've talked about, I'm actually shy in real life. And it just, there's something to be said about strong, smart, fearless women that is so sexy. And my work is, I think the women are sexy. I think there's something beautiful about the female figure.
Where did you pull the imagery from? Was it someone that you saw, or is it just completely from your imagination?
You know, like just having traveled and looked at sculpture and, you know, other cities and countries and things like that, usually the female body or the sculptures that I have seen are pretty realistic.
Right.
And I'm more attracted to, like, is it Botero?
Yes.
Okay, like that type of art.
Exaggerated figure.
Exaggerated, and I really like that. I like imperfection, and sure, a ballerina is stunning, and, you know, just a thin body is magnificent. But for some reason, I don't know, it's something nice with something to hold on to and a bigger, stronger feel. I don't know. I like that in my work, at least.
You do have some figurative paintings, which are very much like your ceramic women, but a lot of your painting style is completely abstract. So tell me a little bit about how that separation of physical form that you can tell immediately translates over to something more ethereal.
Mm-hmm. I think I am a child and a product of the 70s, and my influences were, you know, Ida Kohlmeyer and my mother, and art at that time, or that I was, you know, grew up with, was that sort of abstract art, and that's sort of just what I kind of emulated and started doing.
You're one of my favorite kind of artists because you collect a lot of other artists, and you have a stunning collection of Louisiana contemporary pieces.
Yeah, thanks.
Tell me a little bit about Julie the Collector.
Oh my gosh, Julie the Collector is out of control. All I want is art. David's so lucky because I don't want jewelry.
David's your husband.
Yeah, David's my husband, and I don't want jewelry or, you know, Fendi bags or anything like that. Really, art is my deal, and I love nothing more than collecting art. But it doesn't, like as we were talking earlier, it doesn't have to be expensive necessarily. I mean, yes, I really have some beautiful pieces, but at the same time, I can be at a flea market and fall in love with a piece just as well.
Because of your mother being in art, and because of you being in this community and kind of raised in the art community, you do have a lot of personal relationships with a lot of the artists that you collect too. Is that also important, that you know the artist, or is it strictly what catches you when you see it?
Well, it's both. I mean, some of it is definitely what catches me. That's 100%. But usually, if you like the art, you end up really liking the artist. And I love getting to know other artists. And gosh, it's fun having different artists. I've had them to dinner, and things can get so fun just at a typical dinner party. You know,
Right.
like we've ended up afterwards putting on makeup and costumes and playing on the stage.
You're the only person I know that has a stage in their house.
Oh my God, but that's New Orleans.
You're right.
There are probably more people we just don't know about.
Right. Tell me a little bit about where you're showing some of your work now.
Well, right now I'm still at 3954 Magazine Street, and I have work on charters at Hall Barnett. I'm at ADAC in Atlanta, and at Seaside at, I think it's Newville, and where else? I don't know. I think we have to talk to Trisha Hughes, my manager, for that.
Okay, all right. Fair enough. Well, what about your website? Where can people look at your work online?
Okay, that's easy. It's juliesilvers.com.
Julie, you definitely have been a treat, and I love interviewing you.
Oh my goodness, I have had a blast, and thank you so much, Steve, and to you and your whole team. This has been easy, fun, and it's been a hoot.
Thank you. Thank you very much. We're going to take a short break, so stay tuned for more Made in New Orleans.